Hey guys, it's Will Ma here for CardRunners.com. Today I'm going to continue with part 3 of my final table in the Full Tilt Sunday Major from a couple of months back. And if you'll notice, my replayer interface actually looks different this video. For some reason, the old universal replayer that I used to use no longer works on my computer. So I'm using the Hold'em Manager replayer. And the good news is now we can see the HUD. Whereas before, when I used Universal Replayer, there was no HUD. But now we can see the HUD, although just a caveat is these are the up-to-date HUD stats I have for everybody, instead of the stats that I saw while playing the tournament. So just quickly, the numbers that you see without the pop-up are VPIP, pre-flop raise, 3-bet, fold to 3-bet, C-bet, fold to C-bet. And then the last two numbers, I think I'm going to change this soon. I think I just don't have enough of a sample to use them well. So it's supposed to be win money, percentage of the time you win the hand when you see the flop, and then percentage of the time you win showdowns. I think these two numbers are in theory pretty good, just because if you see like a large gap in them, like if you see if you like very rarely win a showdown, but you very often win the pot when you see the flop, that just means you're probably more aggressive post-flop and you're trying aggressively to get your opponents to fold post-flop. So I think in theory these two numbers are good, but in practice I think it's just too ambitious, and I just don't have enough stats for looking at that one number to tell you anything about a player. And it's better to just look at the pop-up and look at specific hands that they've played. Anyways, so we've reached the final table of the Sunday Major. There's 5 of us left, and so I'll try to go through a lot of hands. I guess most of my videos I've noticed I run through a lot of hands very quickly instead of analyzing a few hands in depth, and that's what a lot of the other instructors do. And I think, I'm going to start to try to do that more in the future, where I analyze a small number of hands very much in depth instead of quickly run through a lot of hands. But I guess this video is more of just like showcasing what happens throughout an entire tournament, and maybe in some senses almost even more for entertainment purposes than for educational purposes. But yeah, let me know if you guys would prefer to see videos with fewer hands and more in-depth analysis in the future. Okay, so I'm going to go through the hands that I don't play, just so that we can see how other players are playing and also comment on what I think of their play. Not much happening here. I'm not defending this. I think the antes are small just because 4 players busted, so the antes aren't as big as they usually are, and also ICM is pretty relevant. I really don't want to bust. I think it's not that far from a plus chip EV defend, but I think just the ICM factor, not wanting to bust and not trying to build an image where I'm trying to play a lot of hands, is good, since at a final table you're kind of just trying to stay out of everybody's way and hope that your opponents make mistakes by being too aggressive. So not too unhappy about folding that. Definitely opening here. I think so. I talked about this a bit in the last part, I think. So there's sort of like 3 strategies that you can play overall from the small blind. One is just a very simple shove fold strategy, which I think in theory actually is pretty good at a final table, because, if you really want to just put ICM pressure on your opponent, and you don't want your opponent to be able to put ICM pressure on you. So here I decided to make it 60K, but really if he just shoves a very wide range here, like let's say he shoves any 2, I just can't really call profitably. I need to have such a good hand before I can call profitably, just because of ICM. I really don't want to bust. I'm not really the second biggest stack, but with a short stack, Pocket 0-0, and Susie Sanchez, who has a similar stack size to me, definitely I don't want to bust. So I think in theory, raising to 60,000 with a range that's reasonably wide here is in theory not a great ICM play if he decides to put a lot of pressure on me. But in practice, I'm not unhappy about it.